We continue Full Metal Panic Week with episode 6, where we see the rescued classmates all crammed into the UN planes for their extraction. The girls, of course, worried about Kaname. Also worried is Melissa, who is waiting for Kurtz and Sosuke, only to learn that the wrecked remains of an M9 has been spotted. Naturally, she wants to start searching for them, but is ordered back. Enemy reinforcements are coming, and with the Mithril interceptors coming, this place is going to be seeing more action than a communal futon on spring break. Well, the M9 gets pulverized to avoid leaving technology for the enemy. Sosuke is, of course, still wounded, and Kaname isn't sure what to do. Still, could be worse. Could be raining. They take shelter, and thanks to a med kit, Sosuke is able to at least treat the wound. She's starting to realize that it's all true, and she's suddenly not sure she wants to be with Sosuke right now. I mean, because of his nature, not because they're lost in the woods in the Soviet Union during a rainstorm, and she's wearing a hospital gown and a boy's school uniform jacket. Objecting to any of that, well, I wouldn't take that personally. Melissa is practically begging for a chance to go mount a one-woman rescue mission, but the lieutenant commander says it's a bad idea that puts their submarine at risk. But he still goes and asks the captain, who, of course, takes time out from posting on a BTS fan site to say that she has reservations about such a risk. But she doesn't want to see their people lost, so she asks for a plan, and he says the Arbalest is their best hope. As you can imagine, that's a giant robot. It's the multi-tool of combat vehicles. Meanwhile, Kurtz is hooked up with Sosuke and Kaname, unsure of how exactly he lost despite blasting that fembot till it came apart. We are up shit creek and no chance of requisitioning a paddle. No radio, no transportation, nothing to formulate a plan. If only we had a wheelbarrow, that'd be something.
And blasted it with a 57mm. I thought I killed the bastard, but I ended up getting blown to pieces.
Let me see how many more old movies I can refer to. With the situation as bad as it is, Sosuke gives Kaname a radio and tells her to head to the beach. With him and Kurtz both wounded, she'll have a better chance on her own. With that, if any friendlies are in the area, they should hear her and arrange for her rescue. And if he and Kurtz don't make it, well, that's the hard price of the life of a soldier. Well, there is only one thing to say to that kind of selfless heroism.
I don't want to go. Got it? God, Sosuke, you're such an idiot. Are you thinking, like, I don't care when I die or some other stupid nonsense? Is that what's running through that thick head of yours? What, do you think it makes you cool or something like that?
Some women are just hard to please. She makes clear that they need to work on a plan where they all make it out, not just her. But Sosuke insists this is it. There is no other way. She will not accept that, though.
Don't you get it? I don't want to do it, and that's final!
Just shut up and go!
I'll make sure you survive even if I have to kill you. Actually, his reasoning is that killing her will be a kindness compared to the state the enemy will leave her in. But she gets through with the sexual tension that's been brewing this whole time, about how his presence is what convinced her that she can make it out here, that she can be strong if he's there. This touching moment is interrupted by Kurtz, who unfortunately does not know decorum, although the panty shot that follows is on his side. Still, at least he is interrupting because he's taking Kaname's side in all of this, that her plan of setting the forest on fire will both provide a distraction and possibly draw the attention of friendlies in the area. At the very least, it should bring Smokey the Bear. He might be able to help him. Oh, that's a conundrum. On the one hand, he's usually an American bear, but bears have a long history of supporting the Russians. But there is even better news that makes this plan worthwhile. The spy satellite that came over yesterday will likely come over again today, in about 40 minutes. So if they see the fire, it will draw attention from Mithril. So while Sosuke goes to see to the fire, Kurtz explains that they don't know why they had to watch Kaname, only that they were told that it was vital to ensure that she wasn't kidnapped. So this is a ding on the old CV, isn't it? She tells him what they tried doing with her, and then mentions the weird things that she was seeing, rattling off technical elements of weaponry, like if Tom Clancy was having a buffet, until Kurtz demands to know how she can know all this stuff. And she says that she had no idea she was even talking.
I don't know. I'm not supposed to know these words, but somehow I just do. Since before I was born, they told me.
I remember being in my mother's womb. Right.
Well, when she is overwhelmed by the images, naturally there's only one thing left to do. Rip your shirt open to expose your cleavage. Interesting strategy. If talking about nerd things can repel boobs, then showing boobs should repel nerd things. I mean, that's just basic logic. During this, Sosuke hasn't gone with the forest fire, but rather found a farm with a gas can and created a burning message on the grass saying that they are alive. He stumbles back and finds Kurt's unconscious. He'd been checking out Kaname, and you know how well she takes that kind of thing. Wounded or no, he's getting a thumping. After shooting the breeze, they figure out that the bad guys followed Sosuke back to this spot. So to raise their spirits, Kaname talks about Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. No, that's not even me joking. Then, it gets worse.
A happy ending.
Well, in the midst of the hail of gunfire, Kaname says that she has no regrets for having had Sosuke in her life, even if he is a panty thief. But good luck is coming their way. A rocket has arrived. But instead of an explosive payload, it drops the arbalest. As Sosuke hustles inside, time to bring a killbot to a gunfight. The lieutenant commander has left a message saying they'll be ready on the surface for exactly 1 minute at 4:30. So don't be late. Oh, and also...
By the way, the AI's call sign is OW. Be sure to bring it back since it is a very expensive test machine.
And from now on, the computer will call you Betty.